So all that being said, we are going to start talking about Google sustainability. I have Nick Zakrasek here from Google to update us on all of the changes that are happening. Nick, thanks so much for joining us today.
Thanks, Christine. I'm happy to be here.
Well, we are looking forward to discussing this. So there's quite a few changes. Where would you like to start? And actually, let's begin with why Google decided to make this a priority within the organization.
Actually, Google has really held environmental sustainability as a core value since its founding. It was the largest company to become carbon neutral back in 2007, and we've been powering all of our operations with renewable energy since 2017. But today, the focus is really on how we can enable everyone to make more environmentally friendly choices in our daily lives. And the nice thing is that often the more environmentally friendly choice can be the cheaper choice or the healthier choice. And so what we're really focused on is making sure you've got all of the information you need to know what the more sustainable choice is. Something like 2 in 3 Americans believe that climate change is an urgent crisis. And so we see that in our search result, in our search query volumes. And so we're very focused on ensuring you've got everything you need to make the decisions that are right for you and your family.
So let's start with some things that will impact people's day-to-day lives if they want it to. And first up is many individuals are heading back to work after being home for quite some time. And if they're interested in maybe saving gas, saving mileage, there is a new part of the Google search that will help with that. Tell me about that.
Yes, well, as you can see, I'm not yet in that category of folks, but I do make a trip every day to pick up my kids from school. And I know many of us have these trips we make on a daily basis. And what we're rolling out today to everyone in the US is a new feature that is going to help you find and take the most fuel efficient route. It turns out that a lot of the time when you're going from point A to point B, there are multiple routes that are almost the same in terms of time that it'll take you to get there. And previously, we would always just only show you the fastest route and then give you a couple of other options. And today, what we're going to start offering everyone is an option that includes the most fuel efficient route. And in my own case, the route that I take to pick up my kids from school used to always be on the highway. And when I started testing this feature, I found out that there's actually a surface street I can take that is usually maybe a minute slower, but it can save me up to 20-30% fuel on that route that I take every day. So it's pretty surprising and, of course, puts money back in your pocket, but it's better for the environment as well.
And Google Maps will present this option. It'll show the quickest, the most fuel efficient, all of those things so you can choose. Sometimes they'll be the same, but it's nice that you can have that choice.
Exactly, and you'll be able to easily recognize it. There'll be a little green leaf next to it, and you can even see the estimate of how much fuel you'll save if you take it.
And people are also traveling more, and Google has a way to travel, find hotels, flights that are a little more green than, or can be a little bit more environmentally friendly. Tell me about that.
Sure. Flights, of course, they're pretty carbon intensive, but I love to travel. Like many of us are looking forward to getting back to traveling. And so what we are rolling out today is a new feature that will let you see the relative carbon emissions for different flights when you're looking at itineraries. And it turns out that, again, oftentimes there's multiple itineraries that are almost the same in terms of duration and cost, but the aircraft that are used on those routes by different airlines may vary a lot, or the specific route and elevations that the planes fly at may be different. And this can actually add up to some pretty substantial differences in how much carbon is going to be accounted for when you take those trips. So we're going to be showing this information there. We're using an open model that's available to any airline, and we eventually hope this to be present on every place where you can buy flights online. And when you're choosing exactly which ticket to buy, you can take this into account. And all things being equal, I think many of us would like to choose the option that's going to emit less carbon.
And another aspect of this is our homes. Many of us are still home, as you mentioned, and with the weather getting colder, we're going to be turning up the heat. So there's a way that Google can present ways that we can save in energy and save with our heat bills as well. Tell me about that.
Yeah, absolutely right, Christine. So we're announcing several new features that are rolling out in the coming weeks. The first is for anyone with a compatible Nest thermostat, there will be a new feature that you can take advantage of called Nest Renew. And what it does is help you shift your heating and cooling automatically, just very slightly in time, to when the energy on the grid is coming from cleaner sources. So for example, sometimes a cloud may come over a solar panel, or the wind may stop blowing for a few minutes. And it turns out that we can actually predict this some of the time. And if we know that's going to happen and the energy on the grid is going to come from more fossil fuel sources, we can actually turn on your heater a little bit earlier so that you're taking advantage of the cleaner electricity. Secondly, you can also plug in your utilities rate bill. So some people are on a rate plan that actually has different costs for electricity at different times in the day. And this feature will enable you to prefer to heat or cool your house when the energy is a little bit cheaper. And again, with all of these options, you shouldn't even notice a difference in terms of the comfort in your home. Like, the goal is to make all of these changes in a very small way such that you might not even notice, but when millions of people are making this choice, it actually adds up to very substantial energy and carbon differences.
And not only that, it helps educate us. There are certain things that maybe many of us don't realize how it impacts environmentally sustainability and our carbon footprint, like the altitude of the airplane, different things that play into ways that we can be more environmentally responsible and help the climate. So that and many other things Google also is doing to help us all reduce our carbon footprint. Anything else that we need to know as this rolls out?
Yes, like you said, often the choices that have the biggest impact can be surprising. For example, just heating water at our homes accounts for almost 20% of all household energy use. And I think many of us don't even think about what is heating our water, but when the water heater in your house breaks, then you think about it a lot for a short period of time. And so one of the other things we're doing is rolling out new suggestions on Google Shopping, so that when you look for energy intensive appliances like water heaters, furnaces, dishwashers, and so on, you will be able to quickly hone in on the most energy efficient options. So you can consider those. And oftentimes those end up being the cheapest in the long run because they save you energy every single day. And of course, they're better for the environment too.
And these features are already or will be a part of Google very soon. So is there anywhere else you can go to find out more about exactly what Google has done and about these features?
Yes, of course. Our goal is to make sure these show up automatically for you over time. But if you'd like to learn more, you can go to sustainability.google and read about the full slate of features that we've just announced this week, as well as what Google itself is doing to run on clean energy 24/7.
Well, thank you so much, Nick, for joining us today. It's really exciting to hear how Google is helping us become more environmentally responsible, also educating us on the impacts that we have, our day-to-day decisions on the climate, and giving us options to choose what we want to do. So appreciate Nick's time today in discussing Google and sustainability. We'll be back with more here on Mountain Connections right after this.